Welcome to the channel Smart Kiddos. Today we're going to continue teaching Scratch It coding. What are we going to learn today in this video? Today we're going to learn how to make a soccer or football game in Scratch. So let's start. Alright, first I'm going to create player 1 for this game. So I'm going to delete this sprite and I'm going to click on this button to create a sprite. Alright, I have created my player 1 character and I'm going to duplicate this costume 3 more times and change the direction of the player. Great, so now I have totally 4 costumes and it's the same player facing different directions. So costume 1 is facing down, costume 2 is facing to the right, costume 3 is facing to the left, and costume 4 is facing up. So I renamed the sprite to player 1 and now I'm going to start with the code. Alright, so here's the first part of this code. So when clicked means when the game starts, we want this character to show and we're switching costume to costume 4 since we want it to face up in the beginning. Next, I have dragged a go-to block to make sure that the character doesn't start all the way in the edge. Instead, we want it to start a little bit up. So I've noted down the location based on the numbers here. The reason I wanted this character to start a little bit up is because I'm going to add a long rectangular goal at the bottom here. Next, I have added code for the movement of this character. So when clicked, when the game starts, we're going to repeat until, meaning this code will work forever. Now basically, if key pressed A, if key pressed D, if key pressed W, if key pressed S. I'm using WASD for this player 1 and for player 2, which we will make later, I'm going to use up, down, left, right arrow keys. So for this character, which is WASD keys, first, if key A is pressed, key A means it should move to the left direction. So I'm going to change X by -5, negative number since it's left, and X direction, horizontal. And I'm switching costume to costume 3 since costume 3 is the one facing to the left. The next thing, if key press D, D is the right key, changing X by 5, so horizontally, and it's a positive number, so it's going to move to the right, and switching costume to costume 2, since costume 2 is facing to the right. Next is if key W is pressed, W key is the up key, so change Y by 5. Y means vertical axis and +5 means it's going to go up. And I'm going to switch costume to costume 4 since costume 4 is facing up. And lastly, if key S is pressed, S means the down key, so change Y by -5, so vertical axis down because it's a negative number. And I'm going to switch costume to costume 1 since costume 1 is facing down. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this sprite. So right click here and click on duplicate. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to costumes and I'm going to change the color of this. Alright, so all I've done is change the color to blue and I'm going to go to code. As you can see, since I've duplicated directly, I have to change some code here for player 2. So I'm going to first drag this right over here and I want it to also not start all the way to the edge. So I'm going to make it like this. Okay, and what I'm going to do is it should start with costume 1. Since it is at the top, it should face bottom. So switch to costume 1 and the location is going to be 15 and 279 since I want it to start all the way at the top and not at the edge. And here I'm going to change the keys. Great, I have just changed the keys here. So first it's left, then it's right, then it's up, then it's down. Next up, the goals. I have created 2 gold sprites, goal down and goal up. Make sure both the goals are similar in size and make sure both the goals fill the horizontal part of the entire screen as you can see over here. I have created a backdrop, just a plain green rectangle representing the field, and I've named it as game backdrop. Let's make three variables. I'm going to name this variable as pink, the next variable as blue, so these represent the players, and the next one as timer. The main thing, the soccer ball. I searched the soccer ball sprite image from the Scratch library, and here's the code for the ball. So when clicked, I want it to show, and I'm going to first set the variables blue pink timer to 0, and the ball location, I'm going to just drag a go to block, and the ball seems like it's in this location, so I'm just going to record it here. All right, here's the next code for the soccer ball. So when clicked, I'm going to switch backdrop to game backdrop. So in the beginning, it will start with this field backdrop over here and forever loop. So all the code inside this forever loop will work continuously. If touching player one, basically, if the ball sprite is touching the pink player one, I have to make sure that these keys and these directions will work. Now, if key is A, key is D, key is W, key is S. Now, why these keys specifically? Because this is corresponding to player one, and player one's keys is the same WASD. Now, basically, what this code does is if the ball touches the player one, it should follow the player one, right? So, therefore, whatever keys is pressed, the ball should move the same direction as the player. So, if key A is pressed, I'm going to change by X by negative 35, D X by 35, W Y by 35, S Y by negative 35. Great. I have just duplicated this code over here and I've changed a few things. The main change is that basically, if touching player two, basically, if the ball touches the blue player, then in this code inside, I'm going to make sure that I change the keys to left, right, up, and down. Why? Because the blue player has the left, right, up, down keys. Next code for the soccer ball sprite is this over here. So basically, when the game starts forever, so all the code inside the forever loop will work continuously. If touching goal up, basically, if the soccer ball touches the goal up sprite, which is this yellow goal over here, we're going to play a sound collect. Okay, and we're going to broadcast a message goal, which we will use later, and we're going to change the pink variable by 1. Now, why this pink variable? Because this pink player has to shoot the ball towards this goal, right? So if the ball touches this yellow goal, that means pink has got 1 point. Next, I'm just going to duplicate this entire code over here. And all I'm going to do is change a little bit. I'm going to make this now goal down, and I'm going to change this to blue. Basically, if the ball touches the goal down, which is this red goal over here, we're going to play the same sound, broadcast the same message, but changing the blue variable by 1. Since the blue's aim is to shoot the goal down this goal red here. So if the ball touches the red goal, that means blue has got 1 point. All right, we're almost done, but a few more things we have to do. Now, make sure that you're going to set the timer to 20 in the beginning. This is optional, but I want the timer to go from 20 to 0. So make sure if you want to follow me, do this, okay? And the reason I did that is because of this code over here. So basically, what does this code do? Okay, so basically when the game starts, we're going to repeat 20 times. So we have a repetition loop. And inside this loop, we have two things. So each time it repeats, we have to wait 1 second and change the timer by -1. So basically, it'll go from 20 all the way to 0. Okay? And once it does that, once it finishes this looping and it is reduced to 0, we're going to broadcast another message called result, which we will use later. Here's how I'm using the goal broadcast. When I receive it, I'm going to make sure that the ball goes to the center position because once there's a goal, any player has scored a goal. So I'm going to make sure it goes to the center. So it's the same location we've given here when the game starts. Same thing with player 2. I'm just giving the same position as where it starts in the beginning. And same thing with player 1. In simple words, this broadcast goal makes sure that the players and the ball starts from its original location. Please make sure to also drag the switch costume to the same costume the player starts in the beginning. Now, what about the broadcast result? Basically, when the timer reaches 0, we're going to make sure that the sprite hides and all the code in the sprite stops. Please make sure to copy this exact code for all the other sprites. The most important code of this game. So click on the backdrop section and make sure to have 3 backdrops over here. One is blue one, pink one, and tie. All right. So basically, when I receive result, I'm in the backdrop code. When I receive result means the timer has reached 0, game over. We have to check the conditions for who has won. If the blue variable is greater than the pink variable, meaning blue has scored more points, we're going to switch to blue backdrop because blue has won. And we're going to play sound triumph, which I have stored over here. Okay? Now, if pink has more points than blue, then we're going to switch backdrop to pink one, right? And we're going to play the same triumph sound. However, if the variables vary for pink and the variables value for blue are equal, then that means both have scored the same number of points within the time. We're going to switch backdrop to tie. Hey, I almost forgot. Make sure for the gold sprites to drag when clicked show. All right, make sure to drag this. I'm just copy pasting this for this sprite goal up. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. Bye!